Welcome to Let's Get Teddy to Rumble Bowl, and we are interviewing JT Energy, and he is the world champion. SCW. How was your match with Connor Braxton?
You know what? I'm very excited to be on Let's Get Teddy to Rumble. And I'm happy to be your guest. I'm
And
feeling a little under the weather today. I got a scratchy throat, so you'll have to excuse me. I'll try not to cough too much. I just did an interview right before this one where they asked me, I swear, it was like 100 questions. So
that's okay if you cough.
but my match with Connor Braxton, it was pretty wild because I've been waiting to have a chance at the SCWPro Championship for, almost 7 years now. And I finally got my shot in January with the Prestige Rumble. And that was the biggest crowd in that building they've ever had. And we were the very first match. And at the end of that match, when I won, and I won the SCWPro Championship, it was a moment that I'll never forget. It was so wild. There was so much. It was so loud in there. I was so overwhelmed, but the moment itself was absolutely amazing.
What is it like to be the SCW world champion?
It's very neat. I'm very excited to represent all the fans that come to SCW Pro, whether they like me or whether they don't. Because I think SCW is probably one of the best promotions in the state of Iowa and Illinois. And when I have a chance to be the champion and represent that company, it means a lot to me. And anybody that comes out and supports us, I'm always very happy to see them and take pictures and make sure that they have a good time when they come to SCW Pro, because I want to be the champion that they remember.
My buddy Caden was there, and how long were you the world champion?
I've only been the world champion for SCW since January. So I've only been the champion of SCW for 2 months now. But I'm hoping to have a very nice, long reign as champion and represent everybody as the champion I've always wanted to be.
What was your most craziest match you were in?
I was in a match last year with Merrick Brave that was really crazy. He suplexed me off a ladder and almost put me through a table. But I took a staple gun and I stapled a dollar bill to his forehead, and that was crazy. And I think that's probably the wildest match I've ever been a part of.
What was your first title match?
I think the first title match I was ever a part of is me and my partner Josh C. We challenged for the SCW Pro Tag Team Championships, and we won those at the Call Ballroom for SCW Pro, and that was like 4 or 5 years ago at this point.
Wow, SCW has existed for a long time.
Yep, they've been around for quite a while.
How old were you when you watched pro wrestling?
I think I started watching pro wrestling and getting into it when I was in like third grade. So when I was in third grade, I think that would make me like maybe 7 or 8 years old is when I really started to be a fan of it. And ever since then, I've always loved pro wrestling and wanted to be a pro wrestler.
How did you start? Where did you start?
Well, I signed up to go to the Black and Brave Wrestling Academy in 2015, and I graduated from there in April of 2016. And I think, if I remember right, I found them on Facebook. I saw an ad or something that was shared by them on training to become a pro wrestler. So once I saw that there was a really reputable school here in the state of Iowa who had Seth Rollins as one of the trainers, I knew that's where I wanted to go.
I got a picture of Seth Rollins at Raw.
I saw that.
What did your friends and family think when you were a wrestler?
When I told them I was going to try to be a pro wrestler, I think a lot of people thought I was kind of crazy because I just started training to be a pro wrestler when I was 30 years old. So I was older. I wasn't younger when I started, but everybody was trying to support me in my dreams that I'd always talked about. So everyone was very supportive, which meant a lot to me. But everybody, I don't think they ever thought that I would have as much success as I have since I've started pro wrestling.
Some people at school when I was like probably in kindergarten, I watched wrestling and I like really wanted to be a wrestler, and wrestling probably. I started to wrestle on my bed one time when I was 3, and I told my friends at preschool, and some people didn't believe me, and then I just didn't give up my dream.
That's very cool. You gotta whatever you end up loving, that's what you should give your time and your energy to. So if you like pro wrestling, there's a lot of stuff out there that will teach you what you need to do to grow up and have everything in place to be very successful if it's ever something that you want to try to chase as a dream or as a career.
How did you get attacked by Bray Wyatt from his sister Abigail?
So I had a chance to go back and work for WWE, and that night they needed an extra cameraman. And I so happened to be that cameraman that night. And when I was in the ring with Bray Wyatt, he was cutting a promo and he started to trail off. And then he crouched down on the ground. And so I got in real close to try to get a good shot of his face. And then he attacked me and gave me the mandible claw right there on SmackDown. And I'm glad that the guys from the back came out and saved me because I was struggling and in so much pain because he had me down on the mat. He's very strong and very powerful. I wasn't ready for that.
Who was your favorite wrestler when you were a kid?
When I was a kid, my favorite wrestler, his name was Diesel, and he was Shawn Michaels' old bodyguard. He was my favorite. He was my favorite when I was younger. He was a big, tall, 7 foot tall guy who wore all leather, and he gave people the jackknife power bomb. And I thought that was so cool when I was a kid because I really wanted to grow up to be big and tall, and he had nice long black hair, and I thought he just looked so cool.
It kind of sounds like the person who started the two people that started the NWO. Like one of
Yeah, that's who Kevin Nash is. Kevin Nash, before he was Kevin Nash in WCW and started the NWO, he was in WWF and he went by the name Diesel.
How did you get your name?
So my initials are T and J, but I flipped them around and chose to have it be JT because when I say the words JT, I'm hoping that people think about an entertainer who can dance like Justin Timberlake. And the word energy, I thought, was very representative of kind of what I wanted to portray out there. I wanted people to be drawn to me and see me as an energetic force. And in the mornings when I wake up, one of my favorite ways to start my day is I don't drink a cup of coffee or anything. I'll have a 5-hour energy. And when I have one of those, it gives me a lot of energy to start my day. So JT Energy just seemed like something that rolled off the tongue that I wanted to see if that name could stick and really mean a lot to me over time.
How do you think your match is gonna be with Devil Dog at Epic?
So the Devil Dog is quite a different opponent than Connor Braxton. He's very strong like Connor Braxton, but I also think the Devil Dog is a lot more ruthless because he's been on quite a path of destruction and he hasn't had anybody helping him like Rip Studwell and James Thomas. So I've been having to do my research on what I can and can't do to the Devil Dog. So I'm looking forward to the opportunity to test myself against one of the best rising stars in SCW. Because the SCW audience, I think they know the Devil Dog could end the reign of JT Energy as champion. But JT Energy, if there's one thing he's not done with, it's being the SCWPro champion. So I'm looking forward to squaring off with the Devil Dog and having a match that people talk about for years to come.
How was your tag team match at Bluegrass?
The tag team match at Bluegrass was really fun. I had never teamed with Dante Leone before, and I graduated with him from the Black and Brave Wrestling Academy. So I was very excited to team with him because I've only fought him before. So we had a lot of fun as a tag team, and it gave me a chance to be in there with the Devil Dog and see what he could do to me. And I think that helped me learn a lot for my match that's coming up at Epic.
What do you think Devil Dog's biggest weakness is?
His confidence. He thinks I think he's overly confident. I think he's got this in the bag already. He thinks he's already the champion. And I don't think he's done his research on JT Energy the way that he needs to. JT Energy has been around SCWPro for almost 7 years at this point, and the Devil Dog has not. So I think he's very smart. I think he's very strong, but I don't think he knows everything that JT Energy is capable of.
Do you have a message for Devil Dog?
I do. But my message for Devil Dog, I'm going to deliver it this Saturday night in Iowa City at Hawkamania 30. And I'm going to tell the Devil Dog face to face exactly what I think about him, about what I think about him as my challenger for the SCWPro Championship, and exactly what I think that he is capable or is not capable of doing with his future in SCWPro. So I think the Devil Dog is going to be very surprised when it comes to talking with JT Energy this weekend at Hawkamania.
Who's your favorite SCW wrestler today?
It depends because it seems like every show we have a lot of different people out there that are very entertaining to watch. I think people like Joss C are very entertaining. Dante Leone is very entertaining. I like to watch Crotch anytime I can. Jared Thumb is very entertaining to me. The girls that are out there that graduated not too long ago, Maggie and Amina. I think they're very fun. I'm so excited to see that Infamy is back with Dion and Joesa and Robin Steele. They're always extremely entertaining to watch.
Did you see the match with Devil Dog and Dante Lewis on TV when Devil Dog beat him?
Yes, I did see that.
And threw him on the boards.
Yeah. And that's the stuff that I've been watching to make sure that I can get myself ready for the Devil Dog, because if he can take it to someone like that, someone who's that good of a wrestler, I know that I have to step my game up to a higher level if I want to beat the Devil Dog.
What is your favorite dinosaur?
I think my favorite dinosaur is a Stegosaurus. I think a Stegosaurus looks really cool with all the bony plates across its back. Triceratops probably comes in a close second, but I think Stegosaurus has always been my favorite.
My favorite is my first favorite is a T-Rex. My second favorite is a raptor because it's got so fast energy.
Sure. That's cool.
Who do you most want to wrestle?
In the whole world, I want to wrestle my hero who got me into wrestling. I want to wrestle Jeff Hardy. I think Jeff Hardy would be very cool to wrestle. Or Seth Rollins. I would like to wrestle Seth.
He's pretty cool.
Yeah.
When you were a kid, did you see the Royal Rumble with Jeff Hardy and Stone Cold, where Jeff Hardy eliminated him and no one saw that, and then Stone Cold came back in and then threw him back out?
I did. I've watched every single Royal Rumble, and I saw the years where Stone Cold got thrown over the top rope and he cheated and he came back in and then he won. It was pretty wild, but he is sneaky enough. He knew how to win.
Do you have a favorite wrestling match ever?
Yes, I like to go back and watch. There was a match on Monday Night Raw with Jeff Hardy versus The Undertaker, and that's one of my favorite matches to go back and watch.
My favorite is the Hell in the Cell with Mankind and the Undertaker,
That's your favorite? Wow, that one's crazy.
where the Undertaker threw him on that desk from the top of the chamber.
Yeah, from the very top of the cell all the way through that table on the outside.
They say they
Very,
have a Hell in the Cell and an Elimination Chamber toy.
yeah.
Would you want to wrestle in Hell in the Cell or a cage or Elimination Chamber?
I would like to wrestle in all of them. I've wrestled in cage matches before, but I've never wrestled in a Hell in a Cell or an Elimination Chamber. Actually, this June, for one of the companies that I'm champion for, I have a triple threat cage match for the championship coming up this June on a show that I'm in. So I'll be in a cage match here in a couple months that I have to get ready for.
Where is it?
It's going to be in Ottumwa, Iowa. It's for a group called Central Empire Wrestling, and I'm their champion as well. So I'm SCWPro champion and Central Empire Wrestling champion.
Would you want to be in WWE or AEW?
I really like to be in WWE, but I really enjoy AEW as well. I think they're the top two companies well, at least that I've had a chance to work for, but I've been treated really nice at both places when I worked for them.
Would you ever want to wrestle Corn Boy? Because we are interviewing him next.
Yeah, me and Cornboy have wrestled a couple times before. Our matches are on my YouTube channel, and they're pretty entertaining. But Cornboy is a really good wrestler, and I've always enjoyed wrestling him. And I think you'll have a really good interview with Cornboy.
He bit
So
Johnny Wisdom's face.
really, oh my gosh. Someday I hope Cornboy faces me for the SCWPro Championship. I think that'd be a really good match.
Or the one with the mask with the spikes on top like the devil.
Yeah. Yeah, the Shane Hollister.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think me and him have had some really good matches in the past too.
Do you have any final thoughts?
Yeah, I'm very excited that we had a chance to do this interview today. I hope you had a good time. I hope you're ready to take Let's Get Teddy to Rumble to a whole new level now that you have a whole bunch of interviews set up. I think you're going to do a great job. And then hopefully someday I can be a guest on here again and we can revisit everything. And hopefully maybe I'll have my SCWPro championship that I can show off after I triumphantly beat the devil dog. But I thank you so much for letting me come on here and be a guest for you.
We're interviewing Connor Braxton today too.
Oh man, you better be ready. Ask him how it was when JTRG beat him. Ask him how happy he was that day.
How beaten he feels.
Yeah, exactly.
Thank you so much for coming on the show today. And maybe you can show the SCW World Title belt sometime.
Hey, I hope so too. Thank you for having me. hopefully everybody can go over to all my different forms of social media like Facebook and Instagram and Twitter and YouTube and Pro Wrestling Tees and TikTok, and they can follow my journey in pro wrestling, and I can make sure to promote Let's Get Teddy to Rumble, so that way it can be part of my journey, because after this interview today, it may be one of my favorites ever.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.